So you don't necessarily have to think of colors as in terms of like, okay, I have this eye color, so I have to use the opposite of that to make it pop. Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Alex. I am a self-taught makeup artist and I have a background in painting. So today I wanted to talk about how to make your eyes pop, okay? If you have small eyes, if you have any shaped eyes, all right, and you want your eyes to stand out, but in particular, if you have small eyes and you want to make them look bigger, more like exceptional, more of the focus, because you feel like they get lost, then this is the video for you, dude. If you have extremely hooded eyes, I love you so much. I have a video coming for you very soon. So keep out for that. Keep an eye out for that. The obvious starting point for a lot of people is color. What color are your eyes? And how do you make the color pop, right? I feel like this is always almost the go-to. The thing that I want to focus on to begin with is shape. The shape is so important. So important. I have slightly hooded lids. I have a lot of creasing going on down here. You hear me talk about this all the time, especially if you're not new to my channel. My eye shape is, I don't know, what would we describe this as? I truly don't know. Kind of almondy with like a rounder inner corner. They're not like so lifted. I think they're pretty like baseline, you know? In fact, I would say that this whole area, my under eye, having these lines kind of drags my eyes down a little bit. Especially because I have like slightly hooded. So I have the skin that comes down like this, which can tend to make my eyes look ever so slightly smaller. Also, my resting face is like this. Like I swear, my lids are just like this. And then you can like really tell that I have like one lazy eyelid, like, which doesn't like make my eyes look so big. That being said, I am lucky to have a lot of real estate to work with, okay? That's me. That's what we're gonna be starting off with, and I will be talking through different colors, different shapes, different situations for all those of you who don't look exactly like me, because most of you probably don't. So the first thing when it comes to shape, what most people are doing when they do their eye makeup, you see like makeup artists do it, like celebrity makeup artists do it all over the place, all the time on so many different people. It's universal. Defining the crease. Duh, like we all know this, right? Like it's not a new concept to be defining your crease. One of the reasons for this is because it defines the eye. Think of eyeshadow, regardless of the color, as contour for your eye. It is contour for your eye. I don't care if it's pink, I don't care if it's blue, it's contour for your eye. In my case, this skin coming down, especially because it's light. It's the same. I have like a little bit of an eyeshadow primer. I use a little bit of Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. Oh my God, I have to sneeze. Hold on. This plane of skin above my eyelid drags down because it's light. It comes forward. It kind of like pushes this area back, brings this forward, and ends up just making my eyes look a little camouflaged, personally. One of the ways that we can make our eyes look bigger, more like exciting, more bright, more poppy, what? Making our eyes pop is to define that area, okay? Now, one of the easiest ways to do this, if you are afraid of color, and we're gonna get into color because I'm so ready for color to be back, is to put a little bit of your bronzer there. I feel like this is something that everybody probably knows. If you're new, if you're a beginner, you're new to makeup, maybe you don't. If you've been watching my channel for a long time, you're like, duh, trust me, we'll get there for you. Just stick with me. I'm gonna show this to you. So I'm gonna be using my Refer Shodo 00 brush to just show you how I would define the eye with some bronzer. I have this palette from Etude? Yes, Etude. This is the contour palette, I believe in the shade, I think it's called Creator. I think it's the lightest one. I'm gonna use this one, which is the bronzer. This is a little bit more of a contour. It depends on your skin tone. If your bronzer is too warm and you don't feel like, you don't want like too much orange or something around your eye, use your contour. I'm actually just gonna mix the two, yeah. So what I'm gonna do is look into a mirror and just above this crease, because I have so much more room going on up here, I wanna make the eyes look bigger, right? So I kind of wanna like cheat the idea that my lid is larger. So I'm going to press this just above where my eyelid actually creases. These brushes are magical for this. I'm gonna go around the eyeball, and then I'm just gonna blend whatever is left over up a little bit. It's literally that simple. It's so easy. Look at this. Boom. Defined. What? In comparison to this side, defined. Are you kidding me? Do you see how this pushes that back? It contours the eye. It makes this area come forward just a little bit more. Pushes this area back so that it's not like hanging over the eye. It's not like bringing the eye down. And by defining the eye, it's starting to kind of like be like, oh, it's a little bit more open. It's a little more open. I'm gonna build that up a little bit more. And you can do this to your preference. I would say the darker you make this area, like the closest to your eye socket, and then kind of like blend it out, the more you're going to define your eye, obviously. Like the darker you make that area. It doesn't mean you have to make all of this area dark, but if you kind of use this as an example, you see this, like if we're just squinting at that, it just kind of looks like a black line, right? So you want the deepest contrast to be right at the fold, like right at where you want the new fold to be, essentially. And then just slowly blend up and out. Right? Are you kidding me? More awake? Like my eyes look more awake. If you compare these two sides, this looks awake. This looks like I just woke up, okay? It's not horrible. I'm not saying that you have to hate this. I don't. I often don't wear eye makeup. But if I'm trying to make my eyes look brighter, more wide, more awake, and I want them to pop, this is what I'm doing, okay? Now the next thing is another thing that you can do with your bronzer, your contour. You can use your blush, you know, you can use some kind of an eyeshadow, doesn't matter. Once again, we'll get into color in a second. Define your lower lash line. So many people are so afraid of this, but I'm telling you, if you are someone who has tiny, and I can't tell you how often I see people with tiny eyes who complain about having tiny eyes with a naked lower lash line. And I'm like, girl, all you gotta do, I know it's a wild concept. I'm gonna use my Refer 03 brush. I love these little brushes. This is great because it's tiny. It's like a little pencil brush, but it's nice and blendy. And it has that nice point. So you're not going to apply too much of it, you know, because I know people are really afraid of smoking out that lower lash line. You don't have to do 2015 to 2020, 2022 Alexandra and Anele, okay? You don't have to do that. But a little definition on the lower lash line, it's a game changer. What I want you to think about, your lights and darks. When you put a dark color in your waterline or super close to your eye, it's gonna make it look smaller, okay? Because what we did up here is we're moving this line up a little bit so that we're creating a larger effect to the eyelid, right? We're moving the contrast, we're moving the dark, the depth. I'm gonna pick up a little bit more of that bronzer to just show you like how much we can do this for the upper part. I'm just going to carve this out a little bit more. So just increasing that contrast just with this without blending it. Do you see the more we build up that contrast in that area, it pushes that area back and it just defines the eye so much more, makes it look more open, more awake. For the lower lash line, okay, what you want to do is focus on placing something, and again, it can be smoky, it can be tight, okay? It can be like thin, but you want to put it a little bit further than you would think you'd want to, okay? So we're stepping away from the waterline. We're just gonna go down a little bit, okay? Bear with me. Once again, I'm gonna mix these two colors. My lash line is like, it's right there. And you can kind of see this natural definition underneath. You see, we have the white of my eye and then my waterline and then this kind of like light area and then this sort of natural definition. I'm gonna go at that natural definition and just underneath it a little bit. Okay, ready? So I'm going underneath my lashes. Like where my lashes actually start, I'm underneath that right now. And I'm not gonna smoke it out too much, but I'm just gonna slowly build up this definition. I'm gonna take it in, and then I'm just gonna gently blend it down slightly, just so that it doesn't look like a harsh line. Look at the difference that that makes. Such a huge difference. The eye is coming together. It's defined, it's open, okay? It doesn't look closed. This looks like it's just like, you know what I mean? It's like, where's my eye? Like, where is my eye? What is it doing? It's sleeping. This is wide, it's awake, it's bright, okay? We're defining the eye, we're opening the eye, we're making it pop. Now you can obviously take this a step further by putting a light eyeliner in your waterline. One of my favorites is the Stay and Play from Essence, which is a beautiful, like, bright nude if you are around my skin tone. I would say the rule would be to go like a shade or two lighter than your skin tone, nothing more than that. If you use like, I mean, obviously there's no rules, but if you use a white, it can look like really intense, especially if you have like deeper skin. So just keep that in mind. Like something a couple shades lighter than your skin tone is really going to like make your eyes pop, because all you're trying to do is lighten up this area in here. It doesn't need to be white. It doesn't need to look exactly like the white of your eye to make your eyes pop. It just needs to be a little bit lighter than like what your waterline already is. Now another trick is, rather than just putting it in your waterline, what you can do is kind of, and I love doing this, just because my lower lash line, like the way my waterline is, it's a little bit more of a shelf, and sometimes it can look a little bit disconnected. You can kind of angle your eyeliner to go ever so slightly onto your lower lash line, so that you're just sort of extending into like the base of your lashes slightly, just like that. You see how that, like, once again, opens up the eyes like so much. I'm gonna take that little brush, the 03, I'm just wiping it off. And just so that it doesn't look chunky or disconnected, I'm just gonna blend between those two colors, soften it a little bit, okay? Now, something that can happen sometimes, and I am seeing this with my eye right now, it's bringing a little bit too much, in my opinion, emphasis to the lower lash line, which I think is what prevents a lot of people from touching their lower lash line. They're like, I don't want to pull my eyes down. I feel like it's pulling my eyes down. First of all, you're being a little crazy. It's okay. It's okay. I personally think it's beautiful. But one of the ways to combat this is to just amp up the contrast up here just a little bit. So this is where you want to dip into like an eyeshadow or something a little bit deeper than your contour or your bronzer. You can also continue to build that up a little bit. I'm going to dip into this Makeup by Mario palette. This is the, what is this called? Ethereal Eyes palette. I think I'm gonna mix this color with this color just to get like a slightly deeper color. And I'm gonna use the 03 brush, and I'm going to intensify this contour slightly, especially focusing it on the outer part of the eye. So like the outer 2/3, just so we balance that a little bit. I grab my little blender and just soften so that it's blending into the bronzer that we put down. Okay, so can you see how kind of like intensifying the contrast up here, it sort of like gives a little bit more of a lift to the eyes. When you are defining the lower lash line, you just want to make sure that it's balanced with what's going on the top, okay? So if you're someone who already has like super defined eye sockets and you don't need to be doing this, you can skip this step and just do a little bit of definition on the lower lash line if it's like doesn't feel necessarily balanced, or you're just trying to make your eyes look a little bit more open. Like I said, I'm going to be getting into some things for hooded eye people, but just quickly, if you are you have hooded eyes and you are watching this and you're like, I just feel so left out, something to think about is when it comes to creating pops of color, and not only color, but also highlights, really focus on your inner corner. That's really gonna help like make the eyes pop. This goes for everyone. Focusing on the inner corner is really gonna make the eyes pop. Generally, especially for hooded eyes, keeping the inner corner nice and light can be really fun. See what the F? And playing with color in that area can be really fun. You just don't want to make it too dark. You want it to be light. And that kind of goes for everybody. I love like a dark, like I love like a red inner corner, but we're not really doing that to try and like make the eyes pop in like a friendly kind of way. I would say a red inner corner isn't necessarily friendly. It is one of my favorite looks, but it's not necessarily friendly. Let's talk about color finally, okay? Color is the most fun. The complementary colors that are really gonna make your eye color pop is one of the most fun, but it's so important. Shape is so important. I'm glad that we went through that. In case you were someone who just like didn't understand the importance of defining a lower lash line, like just define your lower lash line, put a little something down there. You can leave it naked if that's your preference, it's okay. But is it gonna make your eyes pop? No, okay? So my eyes are green. I have a little bit of like an orange, I guess people would call them hazel, but they're mostly green, so I say they're green. I have a little bit of an orange like ring around, like an orangey brown ring around my pupil. I don't know how well you can see it. In different lighting, it like pops more. But yeah, they're mostly green. I have a dark green ring around my iris, and then I have that kind of like orangey color around my pupil. So I like to make the green pop, obviously. If we think about the color wheel, what's on the opposite end of green on the color wheel? It's red, in case you didn't know. Blue, the opposite of blue is orange. The opposite of yellow is purple, okay? So these are complementary colors. So if you are trying to make a certain color pop, putting that color, their opposite color on the color wheel next to it is going to help. It's gonna make it look more intense. Not only is it gonna make it look more intense, it's gonna make it look more vibrant, which I guess is the exact same thing as intense. But they're two different words, so I just wanted to express my vocabulary. If I am trying to make my green eyes pop, then I want to focus on colors that are closer to red, okay? If I want to make the kind of like golden orange color in my eyes pop a little bit more, then I'm gonna want to go for like something a little bit more purpley, a little bit more like periwinkle even. Periwinkle is really going to bring out that orange color. If I want it to be a little bit more yellow, then I want to go a little bit more towards purple. Now you want to keep in mind, first of all, your preference. Do you hate purple? I kind of do. So maybe you don't want to wear, certain colors. Everyone can wear every color. It just really depends on, is it warm? Is it cool? Think about your skin tone. You got to keep that in mind. I'm a firm believer that anyone can wear any eyeshadow color, like as long as everything else is going on nicely in your skin, like if that's all working, like you have the right foundation color, the right bronzer, all of that stuff, as long as your eyeshadow doesn't clash too much with your colors, I think you can wear whatever. Like it's fun, eyeshadow is meant to be fun. Bright colors, like if you're looking at a color wheel, you're probably like, what? I have blue eyes. I'm not trying to put orange eyeshadow all over my eyes. It's okay, that's fine. What you can do is try a warm brown, okay? It doesn't even necessarily have to be like too warm, depending on your skin tone. It can just be like a little bit more warm than what you're used to, okay? What you usually use, maybe it's a little bit more warm than your bronzer or a little bit more warm than your contour. In terms of eyeshadow, for me, I just want to use something a little bit more red toned, a little bit more purpley, like I can go for a mauve-y kind of color to make the green in my eyes pop. That I feel like is a very simple concept that everyone can kind of like, what are you doing, bro? What are you hissing? What? It's okay. You don't like the lights? You can sniff. You okay? I'll put you down. She hates being picked up. Oh, I know. All right, I'll put you down. The complementary color concept is something that isn't new. We've been talking about it a million times, okay? A million times. Forever. We've been talking about it forever. There are videos all over YouTube of like, this is the color that you should wear to make your eye color pop, all right? What you want to consider is the value of those colors. Not only the undertone, okay? So like if you tend to be more warm, then you probably want to stick with more warm colors. And what I mean is like a warm green versus a cool green. So like a teal forest would be like slightly more cool toned than like an olive green. It's gonna have like a little bit more yellow in it, that kind of thing, you know? That being said, like a teal blue is gonna be a little bit more warm tone than like a periwinkle blue that has a little bit more purple in it. You know what I mean? So like those are like the little differences that you kind of want to like focus on. And there's a lot of nuances there, all right? It's complicated. You have to play around a little bit. The main thing that I want you to focus on is the value of it. So how dark is this color? Because if you have small eyes, you probably want to focus more on lighter colors. You don't want them to be too dark. Just like I put this light color in my waterline, whatever you put in your waterline, you can go for color to make your eyes pop, to make your eye color pop, but you don't want it to be too dark, okay? So here's kind of a fun example. This is Danessa Myricks Treasure eyeliner. These are kind of like duochrome eyeliners that are just like really interesting. I filmed a video earlier and I swatched the Live Tinted liquid eyeliner and it would not come off. So anyone looking for like a long lasting liquid liner. So depending on your skin tone, the value of your skin, like how deep your skin is, this is a really fun example. This is Treasure from Danessa Myricks eyeliner, which is a shift between this like kind of fuchsia pink and how do I show this to you? There's like a lime green pearl, but it's also got like a little bit of like a dirty gold in there, which is like really fun for someone who has my eye color because it has a little bit of my eye color in it. Plus a little bit of that fuchsia, which is going to like, in the right lighting, reflect and kind of like make that eye color pop, which is really fun. If you have like extremely tiny eyes, this might be a little bit dark depending on your skin tone, the value of your skin, how deep it is. You might not want to put this in your waterline, but maybe you want to put it against your lash line or something. So for me, I would say, yeah, I probably want to keep my waterline a little bit lighter, but placing this color along my lash line, which is going to be difficult because I've already got powder there, is a really fun way to kind of tie in sparkle and color without being too much, you know? I'm gonna take that little 03 brush, clean it on my Sigma switch. My set is still available. And just blend. And you can build this up as much as you want. Like how much of this do you want to show? The more you build it up, looks a little less neutral and you can see a little bit more of that pink reflect, which is really fun. This is a really nice way to kind of like play with color and amp up your makeup, like be a little bit more fun, dip your toes in. Also just like reflect in general is really going to make your eyes pop because it's going to catch the light, right? So if you're talking to somebody, maybe it's not completely obvious at first that you're even wearing a colorful eyeliner down there, especially once you have mascara on. But as you kind of like move around, as you get a little bit closer, then you get to see sort of like those nuances in that color. It's really gonna make your eyes pop. Plus, you know that it's flattering because like I said, it's already contains sort of that like olive green color that I have going on in my eyes, which is really beautiful. An example of this for blue eyes, maybe it has like a little bit more of like a navy or a deep like cool gray kind of base. And then it has like a slightly more warm pearl that sort of like moves, or like when you move around, it sort of catches the light. It'll do a similar thing. Or if you have brown eyes, then sort of like the vice versa of that, it would be maybe like a brown eyeliner with like a cool steel gray or blue pearl that reflects. Do you see what I'm saying? So you have like a little bit of like the deep color, the base of the color is like close to the same as your eyes. And then the pearl that exists on top is the opposite. It's a fun way to make your eyes pop, okay? I feel like I've said the same thing like 35 times. I just have to like move on. You can do this exact same thing with this eyeliner on the upper lash line, okay? The exact same thing. Like if you're someone who doesn't want to wear a ton of eyeshadow, you just don't want to do the most, you know? You don't want to do all of this contouring to the eyes, but you want to make your eye color pop. You can like use a slightly colorful eyeliner. They exist everywhere. I mean, like this purple one from Victoria Beckham is really beautiful. It's deep, so it's not obvious at first that it's like a purpley color, but it will bring out the green in your eyes. You can do this with, let's see, what are some other colors that would be really great? This is a really beautiful color, this Aqua Resist Makeup Forever pencil. This is in the shade Lagoon, which would be really good for making brown eyes pop. Ooh, you know what I mean? And it has a little bit more green in it. So it would be good for warm skin tones. You want to do something maybe a little bit more cool if you have a cooler undertone. This is kind of a fun, warm eyeliner. This is Walk of No Shame from Charlotte Tilbury, which is a really beautiful, like rusty kind of brown. It's brown, but it's almost red. Like it's got a little bit of red in it, which is really going to like make blue eyes look maybe a little bit more aqua. It's gonna bring out a little bit more of like the green in a blue eye. If you have like eyes that are kind of like in between, which I feel like a lot of blue eyes contain like a little flecks of green. But regardless, just like the warmth in that is really, really gorgeous in general for blue eyes because there's quite a bit of, it's warm enough, but it's not like so orange because I feel like oranges can be difficult. It can be difficult for people to deal with. So this is a really nice one also. And when I say use that on your upper lash line, I literally just mean line the lash line. Put a little bit on your upper lash line, smudge it out, put on some mascara. You're gonna make your eyes pop more so than if you're doing just like black. You know what I mean? Now, eyeshadow, obviously, something reflect. Something reflect? Something that reflects. You want something that reflects light, okay? Does it have to be a color? No. You can do a highlighter. You don't even necessarily have to have something that reflects light. You could just do a slightly lighter color than your skin tone, the same color as your skin tone. You just want it to be like lighter than the contour of your eye. That is going to really help make the eyes pop. If you're talking color, then I would say stick to that value. So like around your skin tone and then maybe a little bit lighter. It could be maybe a shade darker. You just want to make sure that it has enough reflect so that it's catching the light and it doesn't make your eyes look much smaller. Smaller eyes want to focus on lighter shades. The more dark stuff you put around your eyes, it's probably not going to make your eyes pop or look larger. It's going to kind of like swallow them up. So for me and my green eyes, I would use something similar to this like kind of fuchsia color that I have going on in my eyeliner. Okay, so I'm going to use this duochrome eyeshadow from Half Magic. Now you'll notice it looks pretty green, huh? But when I shift it, I have to get the right like angle. That's the thing about duochromes. Can you see the pink? Do you see that? It's kind of like a warm pink almost. Now, this is to say that you can make your eyes pop by using the same color as your eyes. You don't have to go in the opposite direction. You don't. You really don't. Now, this is duochrome. It's got green. It's got a little bit of that pink, that fuchsia. The pink in the fuchsia is going to help make the green in my eyes pop, just like this eyeliner down here. But do you need it? No. You can absolutely wear the exact same color as your eyes and still make them pop. I would say focus on reflect and focus on the other areas, which means lining your lash line, lining your lower lash line, contouring your eye socket, you know. I'm just gonna take a little bit of this on my ring finger. I don't know the name of it because they don't come with the names on them. They come like the packaging that is gone. I'm just gonna pop this all over my lid from the inner all the way up to the outer corner. And I'm keeping this inside that naked area just underneath where we defined the eye socket. Very simple, okay? Now as I look around, you get a little bit of that duochrome, you get that green, you get a little bit of that pink. It kind of disappears into my skin tone. Very pretty, okay? Overall, this eye, everything is coming together in comparison to this eye. We haven't done anything to this eye, okay? Everything that we're doing is over here, and look at how gigantic this eye looks, right? And we're not exactly following all of the rules, all of the things that people say like you have to do, but it's all coming together, okay? So this is how you can kind of like adjust these tips so that you can have a little bit more fun and still make your eyes stand out, pop, make your eye color pop, make your eyes look larger. This entire eyeshadow just popped out of the pan. Look at it. It just popped out of the pan. What? It's a glittery one too. That could have been a real mess. Let's move on to the upper eyeliner. Since we already talked about it, I figured we might as well do it. I'm going to use, I picked up this new liner from Glossier. These are really great if you have green eyes or hazel eyes and you're trying to bring out more of the green. I picked up Black Cherry, which is this one. And then this is Rococo, which is this beautiful plum color. So the red is obviously going to bring out a little bit more of the green in my eyes, obviously. The purple is going to bring out a little bit more of the yellow, which can help to make my eyes look a little bit lighter, which is also something that you can keep in mind. Especially when it comes to your upper lash line, I think darker is great because it not only gives the eyes a little bit more of a lift, thickens up the lash line, but it also is a really great option for utilizing dark colors that will kind of balance the eye. For example, my eye color is not like so light. I have a dark ring around my iris. The best way to balance this is to apply something a little bit darker along the lash line, in my opinion. So I'm gonna use this pencil from Glossier, and I'm just going to line the upper lash line with this dark purple to maintain balance throughout the look. I'm not gonna take it all the way in. As I get closer to the inner corner, I'm just going literally along the lash line, just dotting. And as I get closer to the outer part, I'm thickening up. I'm going out a little bit thicker. I'm just gonna take this Nikki La Rose brush, pat along the lash line to really blend that. You can do this before or after your shimmery shade. I don't mind having them kind of like mixed together a little bit. Okay, we're really thickening up that lash line. When I apply mascara, my lash is gonna look so thick and fabulous, but it's also balancing everything really beautifully. We have this nice contour up here, beautiful contour right here, and then this really nice contour on the lower lash line. The cats are being so disruptive today. It's so rude. I'm just gonna build that up while I'm waiting for her to get out of the litter box. Okay, now upon first glance, you might not even notice that I used a purple eyeliner, right? But look at how the contrast between this purple liner and the green on my lid is just like, it's making everything stand out so much more. And all of these colors either are complementary and make the colors pop, or they already exist in my eyes. So it's just working so beautifully together. Like in general, it just looks so gorgeous. Now for my inner corner, I just want to play into this pop a little bit more. I want to focus on the color. I'm going to go back into Half Magic. I'm going to use this color right here, which is a very light kind of lilac-y color. It has like a little bit of pink. It shifts slightly, but you can't really like see it. It's mostly like a kind of an icy lilac. And using my Rephr 13 Mini, I'm going to pick that up and I'm going to blend this right in the inner corner. So right here. Again, hooded eyes. If you have small eyes, hooded eyes, keep this area light and you can really experiment with color in here. As long as you're using a lighter color than your skin tone, it's really gonna look so pretty. So this is just gonna kind of tie everything together because again, we have this fuchsia down here and then we also have a little bit of like she's back in the litter box. We have a little bit of that warm pink on the lid. So I'm just gonna kind of lightly blend up into that just so that they're not like completely disconnected. Look at that eye. It pops so much. It looks so pretty and you can really see the green in my eye. Now that we have all of these beautiful colors that are just like working so nicely. Not only the colors, but the values, the shape, the reflect, everything is working together to make my eyes pop in every way. It makes my eyes look larger, makes them look a little more of a statement, and you can really see that green. Once again, when it comes to an inner corner, I would love to see like a light blue on a brown eye, okay? Would love to. Or if you have hazel eyes, you can go in like a different direction, right? So like if you have hazel eyes, you can use burgundy, that leans a little bit more purple. You can use these lilac colors to really bring out the green. Or if you want to bring out a little bit more orange, a little bit more gold, then you can go in the opposite direction. You go for like blues, icier blues. If you're trying to bring up the yellow in it, then you can go for like periwinkle purples, you know what I mean? Like go a little bit more in that direction and less so towards the pinks. The pinks, the more you go towards red, the more you're gonna bring out that green. If you have blue eyes, then pinks, okay? Oranges, peaches are gonna look really, really beautiful in the inner corner. I think no matter your eye size, your eye shape, the inner corner is just like slept on. Like I think it's such a perfect place for like a pop of color. just keep in mind that you want it to be like your skin value, like the value of your skin, or a little bit lighter. Okay, I was putting on mascara, which I just use black on my upper lashes, but another really fun way, obviously, to make your eyes pop is to use a colorful mascara. Some of my faves are Half Magic. She has some really gorgeous colors. In addition to black, I don't know if she's a brown, but I wish she had a brown. Like a really nice, like warm brown would be great for blue eyes. But she has this gorgeous teal color, which would be fabulous for brown eyes. It's gonna look good on everybody. But she also has this really beautiful like purpley color, which I really appreciate because it's not like so cool toned. So I wanted to try this on my lower lash line. You don't have to do it on like your upper and lower lashes, but it's fun to do like just for, you know, just in general. A colorful lash is really fun. You obviously don't have to like combine all of these tips together, but you can if you really want to intensify the effects. This is so impossible for me to do on camera. I have to be so close to my mirror, so I'll be in here for a second. Okay, I applied the purple mascara down here. You can see very subtle, kind of blends into the lash line really nice. It's not even like one of those things where it's like, oh my God, she's wearing purple eyeshadow, purple mascara, but it just like adds a little element of color there without dragging the eyes down, because I did use the black on the top. That's not to say that you can't use purple on the upper lashes. You absolutely can, but I kind of like this combination. I don't know. I just feel like it. I feel like it works. The balance works. So let's just take like a second to appreciate the side by side. I'm gonna give you different angles. Different angles. Okay? Right? Big, open, awake, fun, colorful. There's reflect there. We thought about it, all right? We thought about it, we put a little effort in, but it's not like so overdone. It doesn't look crazy. We're not wearing falsies. You don't have to wear falsies. Playing with colors, they all work together. We thought about the colors and their relationship to each other and their relationship to us and our eye color and our skin color and all of those things. It's a lot, but look at the difference that it makes. It's crazy. I was like, should I do that other eye for the outro? But I'm not going to, because I really just want to hammer home how all of these little tips come together to like really make the eyes pop. And just seeing it side by side is like, it's a lot. You know what I mean? Like you can really see it. You can really see it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that this gave you a slightly different perspective, because I know that there's a lot of content around this out there, okay? I want to make sure that we're considering all things, because there's so many different directions that you can go in. And I also just want to reiterate that just because your eyes are a certain color, like for instance, I have green eyes with like an orangey color in them. I love this color and I'm gonna wear it in my waterline for the rest of my life. It's one of my favorite colors. Does it necessarily make my eyes look more green? No. Does it make my eyes pop? Yeah. Hello. If I'm doing like a simple eye look and I have this in my waterline or just on my lash line, are you kidding me? Like people are looking at my eyes. I'm sorry. So you don't necessarily have to think of colors as in terms of like, okay, I have this eye color, so I have to use the opposite of that to make it pop. You don't have to do that, all right? You can use any color. Just consider if you have really tiny eyes, you probably don't want to put like a really dark eyeliner in your waterline. It's gonna make your eyes look smaller. It's just those little things. Thank you so much for watching. Hope it helped. Please subscribe and like and comment and turn on notifications to become a member if you want to support my channel. And I'll see you in the next one.